What's up? What's up, everybody? It's been a little while, and I am kind of working out the cobwebs on my old camera. If you see me on here, go ahead and throw a thumbs up and thank you for hanging on. It's been a little while. I feel like I need to introduce myself. My name is Chris, and I'm a host on Mil2Vet podcast. It's a podcast that we haven't released any relatively new content in a little while. We normally do a monthly live, which we are actually going to be kicking off here soon. It's called Scuttlebutt. So, yeah, bear with me as I kind of go through some of the stuff here. I just wanted to get on here and chat with you guys about some things that are going on. Mil2Vet, we always prided ourselves about talking about the transition, and going through that process was really eye-opening for us. So, yeah, just bear with me. Let me make sure this is actually working right. Funny thing is I got to be my own. Let me know if you have any issues seeing it. All right, so we got some pretty cool things going on. Mil2Vet, the VA, we wrote an article. It's about the VA. Pretty much the VA has come out and said that they're back at the pre-pandemic levels on claims. And let's go ahead and just bring up this article. So pretty much they came out with um, a press release talking about how they have reduced the backlog down under 100,000. And the thing is, um, that's kinda like that's cool. I mean, the backlog did exceed 400,000 in 2024, and the thing is, it was pretty high. It was pretty atrocious, but the backlog was even worse back in 2013. 2013, it was up to 600,000, and if you guys wanted to take a look at that, we actually posted the place where you can find it on our website, and I'll go ahead and just pull that up here. And bear with me, I'm a little rusty trying to get all this stuff going. Let's go like this. I got to open up a new window. Yeah, I just started doing this yesterday. What's up, everybody that's on here? I'm pulling something up for everybody to take a gander at. It's about the VA. Bear with me. I figured I'd have some kind of graphics up here because, I mean, I'm a pretty handsome boy, but let's be real. You guys want to see the data. All right. So we see here. Um, can anybody, can everybody see it? There we go. Oh, there's something playing in the background. What's that all about? That is a glitch. That is that is Megan, and I do not know why that is up. So let's try to fix that really quick. It's embarrassing. Not Megan, me messing this up. That's embarrassing. Huh. Oh man, that's probably the reason why you guys didn't see me. But okay, so let's take a look at this. Getting back to it. Bear with me. I am going through all the different things. All right, there we go. Yeah, we're gonna go ahead and just get past that. If you subscribe to it, maybe I'll stop doing that. I need to figure out that thing in the website. If you have any complaints about the website, it is me. I am the complaints department. So the VA, right? They said that they recently just came down 100,000 under, you know, under 100,000, right? For backlog. So backlog doesn't mean everybody that's in there. What the backlog means is after I'm stretching here 120 days, if I'm not mistaken, it goes on the backlog. So when they say they have 100,000 backlog, that means there's 100,000 people that have been waiting 120 days plus. So keep in mind the VA is going to be going through and doing about 200,000 of these from people transitioning. And some of the reasons why it went back up uh, lately, right, in the past few years is because of the PAC Act, and it put a huge workload on the VA. So they are just now catching up pre-pandemic, and that's why they got to where that. You can see in 2024, the peak was 400,000. In 2013, it was 600,000. So it did go down and up. We will pull up this graphic real quick so that way you can kind of see where we're coming here. Okay, so this is where the VA talks about all the stuff you need to know, like claims. See, 600,000 up here, it dropped down, maintained really low. And if you look at this, right around when the PAC Act and COVID happened, double whamming, it just messed up the VA system. So again, back down to pre-pandemic numbers, and it should be getting a lot better for processing um, VA claims. And here's the other thing: like they needed to unload a whole bunch of processors and all that stuff. So I could see them not needing as nearly as many processors, but there still is a need because a lot of veterans do not want to go through that, right? So they have their different various reasons, but yeah. Anyway, so yeah, 125 days plus. See, that's I said don't quote me on that, but 125 days plus is backlog. Um, so they also um claimed 30 million claims in 2025. That's a lot of claims. That's a lot of claims. So 33 new health centers opened. They also had 200 or 2.2 million appointments added. So when they say additional appointments added, it's after the normal hours. They started opening it up more hours so that way more veterans can get in there. 156 or wow, what's wrong with my brain? 51,000 homeless veterans housed. Um, they're doing a lot. They are. But what they aren't doing is answering some questions. And in fact, there was a ruling on how the VA does ratings. And what happened was they came out and said, well, we're going to start evaluating people based off of their their rate, or not their rate, their where they're at while they're on medication, and that will determine what rate they would have of disability. And you know what, that is very problematic because it could cause some problems with veterans possibly not seeking treatment. It's kind of the whole entire two alpha argument with why they don't want to um, get their benefits because they're afraid of two alpha. And there's there's some validity behind it. I understand it. Um, I don't think the same thing, but to each their own, right? So Secretary Collins, he came out and said that the VA is no longer, we're not going to do that. Now, this is not an official way to communicate. Um, I mean, I would probably take what Secretary Collins is saying. Um, he put it out on his very public and professional X account, but I would still be wary. That's just me. But this right here, we're waiting for official word. Until official word comes out, you know, um, I would not lie on this heavily. That's just me. I'm probably like the most of you, and I really am upset about some of the things that are being done with that. Here's the thing: if you want to, reach out to the VA and make a comment, I think my comment, I still haven't reached out and made my comment, but we have till April 20th to do so. One of the comments that I'm probably going to talk about is about how they are not clearly communicating through official means, and that, you know not just evaluating a veteran, uh the rating at when they're on medication or getting treatment. That's not right. That's not right in my book. So that's what I'll probably comment in there. um but you got to make your own comment, and if you don't view things the same as me, you need to make a comment that makes sense to you. We all have the right to do that. So yeah, that's the first article there. All this is on our website. I released it, and you could go on here. If you subscribe, you will get the newsletter as well. um next the next thing on my docket, right? This comes close to home because I'm in Washington State, and man, I'm really not so happy with how Washington State is treating veterans right now. Um, but I digress, and let's just read the facts. Right, Washington State, uh, they had a bill to build a memorial, and this memorial was to honor everybody that fought in the global war on terrorism. This bill, 2514, was put together and had a whole bunch of veterans testifying. In fact, I actually testified as well. And members of the committee, my name is Chris Elder. I'm a resident of Snohomish, Washington. I'm also a retired sailor who served multiple global war and terrorism deployments. I'm also a veteran advocate with Mil2Vet Veteran Podcast. Thank you for the opportunity to testify today. One of the core mottos that came out of September 11th was never forget. I know I won't forget, but never forget was not just a slogan. It was a commitment to remember what happened, why it happened, and the men and women who answered the call in the years that followed. The global war on terror spans more than 2 decades. Thousands of Washingtonians served, some never came home. Many came home changed. Their service is not abstract. So, yeah, many of us came home different than when we left. And this memorial is not just about the Washingtonians that served. It's about remembering all that served. See, this monument is not just to the men and women that live in Washington State. This is something that should be important to all veterans. When I go to other states, I go to the memorial. That is what this is all about. Here, I'll go ahead and wrap this up. It is living history. Memorials like the one proposed in this bill are not about glorifying war. They're about preserving the history and honoring the sacrifice. When we lose the memory of war, we lose accountability for the decisions made and the costs paid by real people. These memorials serve as another critical purpose: education. They ensure that future generations understand that freedom has a cost, and that the post 9/11 conflicts were not distant events, but defining chapters in our nation's history. So you could go on there and you could listen to the rest of it. I won't subject you guys to listening to me speak. Oh, wait. Here you guys are listening to me speak. I I think that one thing that really just makes me upset is, when we have our our leaders that are out there, you know, they have a bill in front of them. It's already been spoken on. Why why is it that they're not passing it? That's what baffles me. Why is it that that's not being passed? Let's check something out. So I did write my I did write my representative. Wrote both of them, and I just want to share one of the replies that I got. Just bear with me. I'm figuring this out for the first time. I'm joking. I already used that joke like 5 times. All right, so we got the global war on terrorism, and this is what we're talking about. I don't know. Can you guys see this? Is it popping up on your window? I don't know. Okay, I see. So you guys can see it, right? Yep. Cool. Bear with me. All right, so it's really small, and I apologize for that. But essentially, in here, um, you have our representative, reaching back out to me, um, giving me the standard line of thank you. But unfortunately, it did not receive a vote. So that means that it was heard and it just never was voted on. And this is a problem. Global war on terrorism. Uh, it's it's been like it's coming up on what, man, was it 2021, 2022? It's it's coming up on 4 years, right? 4 or 5 years. And what is taking so long to create this memorial? This memorial should have been built um, even during the conflict. Like that's ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. I just thought I'd share my frustration on that. And yeah, let's move on um, back to the next. Bear with me. So we will go back. All right. And then so to navigate on here to find all of our stuff. I know you guys are so interested in this. But here's some other articles. I'm fixing the website. I got to get it to go in order, right? So I wanted to do a shout out to a community member that uh, that is in my local area. They live in Monroe, Washington. Um, Ben, he's an Army veteran. Ben Linsman. Yeah, I'm saying it right. He runs a community food share, but what they do is they run around and they grab food. It's a food rescue. So they go to stores, they go to restaurants, they go everywhere. Like people bring them food. And it's not like, somebody ate off of it. No, it's like it's good food. It's just the expiration is probably tonight or tomorrow. So they collect the food and they make sure that the food doesn't end up in the waste. They bring it down to the local library down in Monroe, Washington. And on Tuesdays at 9 a.m., they are able to get some food. Here's the thing, like, you may not need that assistance, but you may know somebody that's in this area that could possibly use um, some groceries, right? At least once a week, only 20 to 30 people show up. Um, they ask that you bring your own containers. If you don't have the time or money to donate and you have shopping bags, that's one thing that you could do to help these guys out. Here's kind of some example of what they have here, right? It was about 30 people have gone through here. They take the excess food, like these chips, they'll take it to the Boys and Girls Club and or I don't know where, but they find somewhere where kids will also use it. And kids love chips. Anyways, so take a look at that. It's awesome to see veterans out there that are just kicking butt. It's it is it is like really awesome to see that. By the way, to see other veterans out there just kicking butt. Um, I've been kind of gone for a little while, and one of the reasons is because I've been at Everett Community College. I decided to start school um, when I was getting a little bit more into this podcasting and stuff because I wanted to learn more of the journalism side, right? I wanted to get better at my craft, and I had some knowledge, but I definitely learned a lot more while I was in school. So I'm gonna have to tell you guys, if you're getting out of the military and you're retiring, school is an excellent option. It really is. Um, Something else that really made my transition really smooth is real estate. See, when I got out of the military, I was very stable because of real estate. I want that for all those active duty military members as well and veterans. Like, you guys deserve it. You guys served this country, and I feel that you ought to have a part of it as well. So, if you have any questions about real estate, hit me up. As far as everything else, my last announcement I have is next month, last Wednesday, March 25th, Scuttlebutt. Yogi and Megan and I will all be on there, and we will be sharing more stories around uh, California and Washington area and around the nation, really. So hit me up in the comments. Let me know what you guys want to hear. You could tell me, Chris, you're kind of dry and not very good at this. Well, it's okay. I could only get better. All right. Thank you for joining me. And you guys have a great day. Please, please do me a favor if you're listening to this. You got to smash the like, share, comment, do all the above, please. It's the only way that this kind of community can grow is with those kind of contributions. And that way I know if it was somewhat decent or not. All right. You guys have a good one.